How's it going, everybody? Random Andrew here. To those of you who already know me through this YouTube channel, through my YouTube channel, this is my GoFundMe video. I'm supposed to record and post a video on GoFundMe explaining what you'd like help with, what you're seeking donations to try and accomplish. So I wrote down some quick notes, what I'll keep looking at here, and let's get this happening. Let's start this. What I'd like to start is the final smoking program. This would be the last smoking program you'll ever need, so long as you're willing to commit to this program. It's my cat. In case you hear his bell, or if you see the camera moving, he likes chewing on the camera stand. So this smoking program, how do I know it's confident that if you're willing to at least give it a shot, if you're willing to entertain the notion, the idea, the practice behind what I want people to try, I feel confident that it can work for a lot of people because it worked for me. And when I started this, I thought, not this GoFundMe, but when I started to quit smoking, this method I didn't think was going to work for me. I've seen a friend using this method, and I'm not saying it yet why, for a reason, and I was leery of it. You know, because I kept seeing awkward posts about it possibly not being healthy or this or that, and I started looking into it. Like, as much as I understand about sciences and how things work, understanding how certain things being inhaled can harm us, and I couldn't find anything bad about this other than maybe what some people were manufacturing their end of the product with. It wasn't safe. They don't do it anymore. So that's the same thing as if somebody was making cigarettes that had something bad that was causing people to get sick. They wouldn't be doing that for very long. They would be shut down. So this program, this method that I use to quit smoking, I've officially been smoke-free for a month. So hi, my name's Andrew. I'm an ex-smoker. I can say that proudly now. How did I quit? That's the thing. What drove me to quit was I started getting some pretty bad headaches, migraines, the equivalent of a broken bone, but the pain up here from the headache. And it started out with I'd have too many cigarettes in a day, and then it went to the point where I had one cigarette, the pain was there. And the last time I had one of these headaches really, really bad, I went camping with my brother Craig. Those of you who watch my videos probably know who he is by now. He is also quitting smoking using this very same method, and so is his wife. So there's 3 people right there. When I make a video that's going to promote this program, if I'm actually getting going, I will have testimonials. Testimonials from people who have used this method to quit smoking. And it does work. I swear to the gods, it does work. So back to this, because this is why I wrote this, so I wouldn't be all over the place. How I quit smoking? Well, let me show you. When you take a cigarette, you're hanging on to it, you inhale, you hold it in, you exhale, you breathe out the smoke, you feel that sensation of smoking, and you know up here that you've done it. Part of the thing for me was holding on to the cigarette and smoking, and I was thinking, well, it might not be the same because you're not holding a cigarette. But when you taste some of the e-juices out there, when you breathe in a nice thick volume of vapor, yes, not smoke, vapor, and then you exhale it, and you get this nice big cloud, watch. It's so much more satisfying than a cigarette. Like, I never want to taste a cigarette again. I never want to be around a cigarette again. As I was saying before, when I was out with Craig and we went camping, he decided to have a smoke in the tent when we were just chilling, you know, sitting there trying to vape out his tent. And the cigarette, it just within, I'd say 10 minutes of him lighting it, smoking it, flicking the butt, which by the way is a bad habit, smokers. I got another idea behind that. But within that first 10 minutes of him having that cigarette, I didn't touch the cigarette, but the smoke did. It touched me. breathing it in a tent. The fly wasn't even actually on the tent. The screen part was still open all over the top part of the tent because of the design of it. And I got one of the worst headaches I've had. You know, I resorted to, and I don't like taking things for headaches, but I mean, when they're this bad, you really, really should. I took a couple of naproxens and it started to taper down. I was in bed within the hour, so I slept through the rest of it. And yeah, cigarettes, I had to quit. They're that bad. Vaporizing. You are vaporizing a e-juice or an e-liquid that's comprised of propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin with added flavoring. I prefer a higher VG, vegetable glycerin, myself. It gives you a thicker vapor, and with some of the most amazing e-juices I've been trying lately, just watch my videos, you'll get the idea. Yeah, so the problem is though, when I wanted to start vaping, I went to my corner store and I bought a little, they call it a pen style or an ego style vaping pen, and it comes with a cartomizer, which is a replaceable cartridge that has cotton in it that soaks up the e-juice, and that cotton has a coil made of Canthal A1 wrapped around it, and that's a grade of metal that is safe to be heating up and heating up, cooling down, heating up and cooling down, like the process of vaporizing the oil that's soaked into the cotton. Now, because the juices are there, so long as you don't let it run dry, the cotton never burns. The coil never completely burns like you would think a cheap thin piece of wire would. You know, you could get it red hot and it just sizzles out. I've done it many times. Not with this, but I work with electronics, I build Tesla coils, so I've seen these things happen. And Canthal, it's not coming anywhere hot enough really close to be able to release any, leach any chemicals, any harmful stuff into the vapor. And the same with the cotton. If you keep the cotton soaked with the oils, with the e-juice, I shouldn't say oils because it's e-juice. There's a bit of a difference. It doesn't burn the cotton, and then the only time cotton's going to leach any contaminants into that vapor is if it runs dry. So as long as you use a proper, safe vaping practice, there's no harm at all. The studies are out there. All you have to do is look it up. If you're watching this, it means you're on a computer with internet. So just type up studies about vaping, look at the sources, look who's funded the studies, and actually understand that it is very safe. My headaches are gone. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, this has saved my life. This unit here is a Sigelli 150, and it's got a Kangertech Sub-Tank Plus on top, and it's really good. I love it. Right now I am vaping what I'm usually vaping. Summer Camp Max VG is the name of the company, and the flavor of the e-juice is Sunrise Valley. It's really good. I love it. So the next part I wanted to point out is that this Sigelli 150 isn't cheap, and it takes special batteries that are 18650s, which is just, I guess, the battery size. Yeah, it's a battery size. And they come in all kinds of different quality. I mean, there's some high-end batteries out there made for dumping amperage down at a higher wattage, and the battery's not venting, so they're a safer battery to use that's been developed. The unit itself is over $100. This tank was over $40. Bottles of e-juice at a local vape shop can range anywhere from $10 to $30. And the bigger bottles are even more. But you can order a lot of this stuff online too, and it saves you some money. But not with the convenience. You have to wait because you've ordered it online. So the aim of my program would be, if I could get the funding to be able to afford at least 10 to 15 starter kits. Starter kit would be something along the lines of, and it's from Joytech, and it would be the Ego 1 with the tank. It's got a kit, comes with a charger, fairly simple to use. You don't have all the extra buttons and settings or whatever. You know, you don't have to worry about adjusting because it's a straightforward vape. They're not quite as powerful as something like this, but when you're starting out, you're kind of trying to get used to the habit of reaching for that vaporizer and not the cigarette. And once you've gotten used to that habit, you really start to kind of really enjoy the e-juice, the different flavors of e-juice, because there's so many varieties out there. Check my channel. I've showed you a little bit about it already. Now, the other thing with that is you start to get your sense of smell and your sense of taste back once you've been away from the cigarettes for a little bit, and the flavors kick in even more. And you start to realize, wait a second, I'm breathing better. Like me and my friend Ryan, if you watch on my Vape Can 2015 video, we walked a good 20 kilometers across Toronto to get the vape can. And you know what? We were talking the whole time. We were walking at full pace the whole time. My feet were screwed for like the next 2 days. And I wasn't short of breath the whole time. The only thing that was getting to me was the heat. It was so hot out. I'm sure you could tell I was like, not delirious, but you could tell the heat was getting to me out there. It's one of the hottest days in the summer, and we walked across TO. That's dedication. So, yeah, they would get, it would be the program where I'd have to afford to get this equipment, which is why I'm trying to explain out what the starter kit is. And this is just the beginning of it, just the first part. Anybody who is willing to commit to the program and within a month be cigarette free, they get the use of that starter kit, and they also get their choice of 3 30 milliliter bottles, so they can choose a couple different flavors to go between. And they have to commit to doing that. And after that 1 month, if anybody else in the program sees them smoking, happens to get a picture. Everybody's got cell phones nowadays, and it's not like spying. It's not going to get them having their equipment taken away. But I don't know. I have to really think of how I'd work that, because I don't want it to be unfair in any ways. I want to kind of try and keep it, cool on the level and all that. So yeah, that's got to be brainstormed just a little more. Just coming up with this in details tonight. So as this progresses, things will be hammered down, a little more tightened up, so that it's actually, like I said, so that it's fair in all ways, in all aspects. Either way, the idea is you get the starter kit, you use it for a month, 2 months, and if you're like me, that HD vape pen just wasn't quite enough. I had to get something better, thicker vapor, more flavor. If you look into vaping a little bit more, I want to do a video actually to kind of explain exactly what every aspect of it is, but that's kind of what it is with the Random Andrew. It's kind of random what I'm going to bring with the next video, so if you stay tuned and you watch and you find out, there's actually going to be some very interesting videos coming up soon. And the big problem with these things is, like I was saying, this here, over $100. Right there is like $140. Well, probably more than that, because the cig, I got a deal on the cig, and I'm just shooting at the prices here. But if you look them up, they're not cheap equipment to run out and get, especially when you used to just buy a pack of cigarettes. A pack of cigarettes, or like around here, you can get a bag of, 800 cigarettes for $12 from the Indian reservation. That's kind of cheap, especially compared to going out and buying an expensive unit to get away from cigarettes. So these starter kits, yeah, you get them, and then once you're a bit used to them, you're going to want to upgrade. Well, we're going to help you with that first upgrade, so long as you've committed to the program. If you manage to knock those cigarettes within a month, you get that upgrade. The upgrade could be anything from a Evic VT, it could be, and that's by Joytech as well, same makers as the Ego one. What else would be a good one? Maybe an IPv4 or something that's a bit higher end, so you're going to get the more flavor and get the more thicker vapor. Some people might need that. Some people are really addicted to the cigarettes. If you don't know about vaping yet, another thing with it is you're probably thinking, well, okay, well, you've explained the thing about propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin and flavoring. There's also nicotine levels. You can get anywhere from a 0 to like a 24 milligram nicotine, maybe even higher. So if you smoke, say, a pack a day, you might want to start around 24, 18 milligrams of nicotine in your e-juice. This is another thing why I need help with getting that started, because this stuff isn't cheap either. People make premium e-juice out there, stuff that's good, stuff that's going to be enjoyable for people who are trying to get away from something that's killing them, right? So I'm going to have to stock up a certain amount of juices, and I'd probably try and make a deal with a vendor that, or a supplier or a manufacturer that wants to help get people off the cigarettes as well. And when I was at VapeCon 2015, I talked to quite a few different vendors, and these guys all have been there. A lot of people who you see vaping, I'd say probably 98%, did it to get away from cigarettes. So they understand how this is. So yes, I would need assistance with money of stocking up on e-juice, stocking up on 10 to 15 of those starters, and then the upgrades for those who manage to kick the cigarettes. And maybe if they manage to hit 3 months and finish the program, maybe make it a 3-month program, maybe make it a 6-month program if you're having trouble with it. These are details to be hammered out a little bit more, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on up here, what gears are turning, which way they're going. Hang on, cat. Psst, get away from that. Sorry, I'm back. He was just trying to knock over a light stand here. So yeah, I guess that sums it up. If you quit if you quit cigarettes, you get to keep that upgrade. You know, so I might end up needing a bit more of those. As the starter kits will come back, they'll get cleaned up, sterilized, and ready to be redistributed to more people that have entered into the program. Maybe, like I said, if I can find a manufacturer or a distributor that wants to really help out with this idea, that would take away from having to get such of a loan. Setting my GoFundMe at $5,000 in the hopes that maybe that would be enough to cover that all. I might need not a shop but an office somewhere, so I can have people come in instead of coming into my home. They could come into an office, sit down, ask all the questions they want to ask, and it would be in more of a professional environment. But I also want it to be comfortable. I don't want it to seem like you're walking into a dentist's office or a doctor's office. I just want a nice little office so that I would be able to, like I said, not have people come into my home, but come in and have an interview, sign up for it, sign the contract, so that you're saying, I commit to quitting smoking cigarettes. I want to save my life. I want to live longer. And a lot of people want to do it, but they just don't have the money to jump right into it. Think about it like smokers that want to quit because they now have full families. They work so much of their time to provide for those families. When they come home, they want to smoke, they got to go outside to have their cigarette. At least if they got a vape, maybe like they go in a different room just so it doesn't freak the kids out or something. Like, it's not harmful, the secondhand vapor. It's not, the first hand isn't even harmful. But you want to, a lot of people try and keep the same practices as they had with smoking so that it doesn't really change how non-smokers think about it. I don't know, I wasn't the non-smoker, so I am now. And I don't want cigarettes anywhere near me because they cause bad headaches for me. Seen a lot of changes in how I'm thinking about it. I want to help do some cleanups of cigarette butts. But I want to make it like a community thing. Maybe this could be part of the program too if you signed up for it. We make a day that's compatible, agreeable for everybody to come out and do a cigarette butt and garbage cleanup to give back for all the years of throwing cigarette butts. So yeah, that's my thing. I'd like to try and reach a goal of $5,000. That might change if it ends up being a bit more, if I've got to hire on a helper or two. I don't know if I would, but it'd be nice to have a whole team of support in this thing. Whether I get GoFundMe or not, I'm still going to keep pushing with my reviews, try and get more things happening, and instead of just doing giveaways and contests to people who already have a whole lot of stuff. No offense, guys, because I know a lot of you work hard to get the gear you have, and it's always nice to win something as well. But I know there's a lot of people out there trying to quit smoking too that can't afford to run out and buy a lot of things, and I want to try and help. You know, this saved my life, so it's my turn to try and help save somebody else's life, kind of paying it forward. That's the idea. So that's my GoFundMe. I hope I didn't ramble on too long. so this won't take too long to upload. But enjoy, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. If you like the video, throw a comment in the comment section. Say, hey, I enjoyed that. Oh, one last note. Mention to my sponsors. I call them my sponsors. Really, everybody that handed out free e-juice at Vape Can. And my way of saying thank you is putting their logos into my videos. Saving space for some special sponsors that will be coming up soon. Well, not sponsors, but people who are helping out. And yeah, have a great night.